Hey guys, Tarp here, bringing you some more Master League action. This is from day 4, lower bracket, and we have Kimbo playing from the bottom position as Soviets immediately going for guard rifle combined arms, and interesting to see kind of following in the footsteps of PFC going for the second combat engineer early on instead of straight into the conscripts. It seems to be picking up some pace as a popular build order these days. Seeing that straight over to the fuel point on the opposing side as well. Interesting camping order there. Anyway, facing off in the north, we have DevM playing as Osir and immediately going for a lightning war. This commander seems to have picked up some popularity this tournament, especially in these later stages, and especially on this map, Crossroads X, 5 VPs. And we've actually seen a bit of a resurgence in the use of the G43s because, especially against Soviets, you know, they do perform pretty well before you get to the 7-man conscript upgrade, at which point the G43s fall off a complete cliff. But with the 5 VP maps, quite often, you know, the game's kind of decided by the time you hit that point. So yeah, interesting tactics. Spin around from the machine gun. One conscript on the wrong side of the hedge. So now the 4-man grenadiers should be able to beat the 4-man conscripts after that. And the combat engineers also get chased away from the fuel. So yeah, that early foray from Kimbo doesn't really amount to much. DevM shutting that down very effectively there. Though Kimbo has, you know, managed to cap up his own side uncontested during all this. You know, as also Aussie player, you do generally need to kind of function a little bit more as a combined unit in the early stages around the machine gun, so it can lead to slightly lower territory control overall. But yeah, exciting stuff here. For what is it? This is to decide who, like, the loser of this comes 5th/6th tied, and then the winner progresses, stays alive. G42 covering this angle, just trying to sneak out. Oh, they do manage to, just as DevM was packing out the machine gun. Bit of good luck there for Kimbo. No flamethrower yet from Kimbo. Upgrading now. So until then he's a little bit under strength, and it looks like DevM going to go for the 4 Grenadier style as well. We saw quite a few players kind of catch their opponents off guard with this 4 Grenadier style. It's just some strong early territory control. Flamethrower cycles into the building. Machine gun got a little bit too close and now gets roasted out. And Kimbo making a play here, pressuring the machine gun. Looks like DevM wants to get behind this point before retreating, doesn't want to risk running back past the conscripts. But yeah, the machine gun placement there from DevM, getting punished by that flamethrower. Well played by Kimbo. Also jumped on top of the cutoff here with the combat engineers during all this. So overall, some excellent gameplay there from Kimbo, especially given what he's got at the moment. And he's making tracks. Gonna chuck a mine down on this cutoff. Conscripts are a little bit surprised they're going for the VP here, but alright. Still, I don't think the meta has been solved for the 5 VP map in terms of victory point control. And Battle Phase 1 coming in now for DevM.
Production upgrade accomplished.
It is, of course, one of their downstream effects. We're going for these 4 Grenadiers. Tier 2 tech will come up a little bit later, and same with the 222. Oh no. Oh, that's a lot of damage. And he has to cross the road here. That's a lot of Grenadiers. And down goes the conscript. That is really bad news for Kimbo there. 5 models, the conscript, but very low in health. And yeah, got caught building that sandbag, so the first volley or two was just so damaging against them. While they're constructing that. So that's a big oof. The Kimbo. Gonna go for a squad of guards. In the meantime. Mine did trigger over here. Did not wipe. Dodge on the rifle grenade. Nicely done there by Kimbo. I did not wipe anything though. Still got 4 grenadiers. Sweeper out from DevM after hitting that mine. And 222 in production. Not too slow though. You can see you only had like 4 fuel in reserve by the time we managed to start that 222. So going for that 4th grenadier. Didn't really slow him down too much though. Might slow down his mid bunker. You can see he's got a lot of low health grenadiers running around. Bleeding quite a lot of manpower at the moment because of that. Whereas Kimbo does have the healing up. And going for a replacement on that conscript is maybe a tiny bit surprising to me. I thought he might just go for another squad of guards. They're a bit more expensive, but double guards can fend off. Oh, the 222, but it's not the 222. It's gonna be the half track here from DevM. That's quite a lot more aggressive. Just getting out of the building in time. Didn't take too much damage from that grenade. Close call. Here it comes. Flame a half track into the center.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Flamethrower upgrading. So, you know, maybe that also explains no mid bunker early on. And just saving munitions. Kimbo still doesn't have tier 2 down. So, you know, he can't really build a Zis to answer this. And the Flame half track is pretty good against handheld anti-tank weapons. Just because the amount of DPS they can spit out. They can't really hang around for any longer than that. And Kimbo on the run there quite quickly. Has replanted that mine though. But Kimbo with a very strong territory control right now overall, so he's not too worried about this. Just got to avoid bleeding so much manpower because he's in a bit of a manpower bind right now. Going for AT grenades. Still hasn't put down tier 2, let alone tier 3. Doesn't have, you know, any mini AT guns with this commander that he very often liked to use back in the past. He's hit the mine there. Comrades around the corner. Going to try force them away so they can't cap. Then trying to hide behind the building here. But you know, DevM does have to be cautious. Sweeping out one mine, but there could be another one somewhere through the center. That is one of the advantages of using the double combat engineer style. Much easier to plant mines. There's the Soviet player. Okay, so AT grenade connecting on the Flame half track here, and Kimbo charging forwards. Trying to finish the job on it here. Got a couple PTRS shots off there, and an early retreat there from DevM. And there we go. The PTRS has finished the job. Half track goes down. Oof. If that half track was at full health there, you know, it took those PTRS shots like way over here or whatever it was. I think it could have backed around the corner there for DevM, but it did not. And nicely done there by Kimbo with the cleanup. You can see the difference with the PTRS aim time now. You know, you can kind of run forwards, fire off a shot, then run forwards quite quickly again. Whereas previously you would really struggle to do that. So the much lower aim time on the PTRS is now coming in clutch there for Kimbo. You can see he doesn't have the DPs yet on the guards even, so the anti-infantry damage is not terribly impressive. Prioritizing mines over that, and I suppose that does make quite a lot of sense if you're worried about your opponent's light vehicle quite a lot at this stage. But interesting, we're still seeing DevM go for the G43s here. And maybe a tiny bit surprised about that. Because I feel like the G43s make a lot of sense if you're making like a big push at this phase. and you're really like overwhelming your opponent with the timings here. But you know, DevM's having lost his light vehicle, his control during this phase just hasn't been that strong, and Kimbo has had just like rock solid control of his half of the map basically. So I feel like with this play, DevM's not really making the most of the situation. He's got a lot of low health squads. Does have the mid bunker up finally.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
But yeah, I did catch a little bit of the upper bracket series before I went to bed. I was a bit restless last night, and yeah, different early game from those with the G43s. I felt made more sense. Can't flank around the machine gun, so decides to go for a bit of extra bleed, maybe jump onto the cutoff. Second machine gun coming in for DevM makes a lot of sense. They're going to control his infantry from Kimbo. Kimbo has gone straight for tier 4 here. That's how strong his fuel control has been. He's not going to muck around with the T70. He's going straight for a medium tank here. And this is, you know, once again, got to counter the G43s. As I said earlier, G43 is good during the early phases, but I feel like DevM was maybe a tiny bit late getting a few of them. And Kimbo's going to be with his, you know, straight tech into tier 4, going to have the 7-man upgrade on his conscripts much earlier. So these G43 Grenadiers, I feel like, are really going to be limited in their effectiveness this match.
The enemy is encroaching on our territory.
Good bit of suppression coming in there. Grenade helps them win the fight against the guards there. And DevM pushing back onto Kimbo's fuel, pushing onto his fuel, but you know, Kimbo's fuel control has been excellent so far. I really want to illustrate that and highlight that. You know, with 4 greens and a machine gun, you expect Kimbo to do a little bit worse. Kimbo has been very, very good with his territory control so far. Yeah, I mean, going hit the dirt here. Not going to work too well against these G43s right at point blank. Don't know if that was worthwhile for Kimbo. Got a bit of manpower there. Pyro's going to continue on their path. Going to sweep, leave the machine gun out the back to do the capping. And a second AT gun coming in for DevM at such an early stage here. That's actually very interesting. He must have the read on Kimbo with the straight tech. I do have this conscript here has popped the upgrade, but I don't think it's been at 7 models yet. Take a quick look at the KD here. You can see Kimbo quite far behind in that department, which is why DevM's, you know, able to save up this much manpower. Usually you maybe wouldn't be able to afford one of these two. Second machine gun or second pack, you might be a bit strapped for manpower to afford that, but Kimbo's, with DevM's really good KD at the moment, low bleed, he is able to afford that much.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
But yeah, Kimbo trying to make the impact here, going for the T-34, not trying to hang around for the KV-1, probably feels that's too slow. So here it is, getting the job done. Much more mobile as well, which is generally, you know, good in the very early phases before they get double anti-tank guns. You can go from flank to flank, pull that single anti-tank gun around and do quite a lot of damage for a couple minutes. But yeah, there's the pack. Second pack from this angle, so he's going to take a couple hits here. Oh no, and he thought he could back around. Luckily for Kimbo, that shot missing. Oh man. Oh, he is incredibly lucky. That very easily could have been a T-34 down there. Wow. Yeah. Well, the second AT gun, I think catching Kimbo a little bit off guard there. Lucky for him, he didn't end up losing his tank because of it. There was some creative driving. I think overall it wasn't that good. driving to evade the double 18 tank guns, but got the job done ultimately. But yeah, now DevM actually has like a very strong infantry core here. As long as he's got those machine guns in good positions, he is sitting pretty. But still, Kimbo finding time to branch out to this left-hand side and get some territory control very, very easily. DevM, run over this mine. Seems to be a little bit more concentrated on one side. Not really spreading out that much. Pyro here, keeping the squad suppressed. MG pushes in from the cutoff. We've got the double AT guns, but Kimbo finding an angle behind the logs to hide from those double anti-tank guns for the moment. And still do some damage. Second pack wheeling its way onto the other side, so there's nowhere to hide this T-34, but Kimbo does have a pretty strong amount of infantry over here. Might have to see a rifle nade against these guards. And does some pretty good damage with it. G43 is closing, and it'll be a close fight between the guards. Not with the flamethrower there, it's not going to be a close fight. Guards at feet 3 already though, so they must have been doing some really, really strong damage. I suppose they did do some okay damage. Get the kill on the flame half track. But yeah, they're hitting vet 3 before anything from DevM does. Crawls out. Going to be able to get the neutralize here at least, I believe. G through the center. We do have one pack over here. Interesting positioning as well, like only barely covering this angle. Wants to have plenty of attack ground options with this position. It's not far off the attack ground. Second anti-tank gun wheeling its way into position. Guards are quite low, so this is where the LMG Grenadiers would be so much stronger. They could just laser beam down the guards from that amount of health from long range. G43 Grenadiers end up losing. Incendiary rounds activated. Not terribly good against the T-34, though they can penetrate. Incendiary rounds can penetrate anything the allies have. Even the IS-2, though, is super, super low chance against the IS-2. I'm actually working on a video covering the different AP ammo of all the machine guns. And one full activation from the MG42, I think did about 20 health damage on the IS-2. So yeah, probably not worth spending the munitions. Going to be rare that you can sit in front of an IS-2 for an entire activation as well. Pack squaring up, missing its shot. Oh, Molotov pressure there on the AT gun. Second AT gun coming in. And Kimbo going for a very early Katyusha here. Panzer IV about to pop out for DevM. But yeah, against the double machine gun, double packs, the Katyusha, a very, very solid option. And it's an option that, you know, like US Forces doesn't have. They've got the Calliope, but no non-doctrinal rocket artillery can make it trickier for US Forces during this phase. Here comes the Katyusha now. Oh. It's a flying. Oh, double D crew. Oh, that is devastating. Do you have the Zis somewhat nearby for the Panzer IV as well? You can see DevM trying to protect those double anti-tank guns, make sure he can recrew them here. He's only got one pyro at the moment for recrew, so I'm going to have to pick one of them up with the Grenadiers, which is not ideal. Quite a lot more manpower, no bonus sight. Can't crew the other one with the pyros maybe. But yeah, really good start there for the Katyusha. 3 kills, but 2 decrews. So probably essentially like 2 more models could be attributed to that kill counter on the Katyusha there. So there you go. And Kimbo looking really, really strong here. I thought that early conscript loss would hurt him a lot more, but he's fought very, very well since then. Just gonna hit the dirt mode there. They can't be suppressed, but by the same token, that means that this machine gun's going to do quite a lot of damage to them. They get the received accuracy bonus of suppression, especially on the road there. Oh, quite a lot of bleed onto the machine gun. Pack misses the follow-up shot. Panzer IV hoping to go in for the chase down. Oh, is he going to commit to it here? Only one shot worth of damage. I don't think that's wise. Penetrating like 3 shots in a row on the move. Probably a bit too much to ask from the Panzer IV without losing the Panzer IV in return. He's going to see the conscripts coming here. Look at how quick Kimbo activating hit the dirt there. Very, very fast reaction times. This is coming forwards. Katyusha ready to fire, looking for an angle. Didn't gain much veterancy from decoying those AAT guns worth noting. Almost none for 3 kills. Bit sad for Kimbo. But yeah, the guards can really start to bully these G43 Grenadiers long range at this phase. G43 Grenadiers feel like they're falling off a bit, and Kimbo going to call in the IL-2s, make a bit of a push here. Good damage. Oh, Pyo's nearly going down there. Pack just on the edge of the targeting zone here. The machine gun, I think, will take a loiter. Just pressuring with a potential Molotov, but out on negative cover, going down fast. Here comes the Katyusha going after the support weapons, and they do end up taking another pass. DevM in trouble here. Oh my! Nearly going down with that MG42. Oh, it does go down. Really good scatter there from the Katyusha. AAT guns facing off this direction, but T-34 switches around. DevM takes a bit of a risk here, coming in with the Panzer IV. The Zis is there. Out of range though. Either way, really good bleed again from that Katyusha. 4 more kills. Another D crew. I think that was Vet 2, MG42 going down there, so loses its veterancy. Grenade in. Partial dodge on the guards. But now the Grenadiers getting bullied. DevM, yeah, he's desperate. He's capping in the center with those double super low anti-tank guns. Now pulling them back. Another Panzer IV going to be the answer here for DevM, whereas Kimbo saved it up. Going to go for that KV-1. Interesting though that Kimbo is allowed to go for this commander. I thought this was one of the more pop. Ooh. Oh, that was a nasty hit from the T-34 there. Grenadiers go down, and now I think Kimbo's the one in the driver's seat. With a really strong Vet 2 on his T-34 already, whereas the Panzer IV only barely Vet 1. He's in a good spot. And he's just, you know, going to bide his time, let that Katyusha do the heavy lifting, go after those team weapons. And just control the map apart from that. Light cover there. Try bait the T-34 into the AAT tank guns. Might have heard the Panzer IV coming through the fog though, so Kimbo pulls back very early on, doesn't take any damage. DevM does have the close air support planes locked and loaded here. Could they turn things around for him in a hectic engagement? KV-1 getting aggressive, going after the Panzer IV, the double pack switching sides here. Kimbo making it count though, going in. DevM, he's dropped the planes. KV-1's got one more shot, misses. Would have been very lucky if he pinned 3 shots in a row on the move like that. Planes coming down, but don't actually do too much damage to the KV-1. Usually those slower vehicles end up taking quite a lot of damage on the close air support planes, but Kimbo got a little bit lucky there. Katusha coming down, and he did it slightly further forwards than I was expecting. Connecting with the support weapons quite nicely here. And the double AT guns squaring up on the T-34 there. Oh, and the planes actually come through as well. Okay, so it's at least quite a lot of repair downtime there for Kimbo. But not ideal, you know, DevM having to call those in to bail out that Panzer IV. Very fast activation of Hit the Dirt there. Before suppression came in, that was a good activation too. Pressure from the Grenadiers, but they get suppressed. Oh, a bit of rear armor action here for the Panzer IV. But yeah, this is... Oh. Was that friendly fire? Yeah, okay. Friendly fire from his own KV. You know, one of the real issues with G43s against 7-man conscripts is even if you start them in close range, I believe the G43s still narrowly lose. And then when they also lose long range by a larger margin, it just makes it very, very hard for the G43's late game against the 7-man conscripts. The one thing we haven't seen from Kimbo is double anti-tank guns, which has been quite common for Soviet players. No machine gun here either. So there's still plenty of opportunities. DevM's tanks and infantry have been completely locked out by the Soviet team weapons. Nice positions with the Katusha, and then target slightly towards the retreat path as well, it looked like. Oh, maybe it was just good favourable rocket scatter there. Here comes the KV-1 though, looking to finish the job. Double packs line up on it. Has hit V1, pops the target weak point on one of them. Oh, but the Panzer IV goes down. Everything getting through the frontal armour, and now the KV-1 crawling out to safety. They're holding up quite nicely. Oh, and the T-34, big hits. Oh, and now Button on the Panzer IV doesn't have any smoke. Goes for the ram. Sacrificial ram there. Now the Panzer IV in some big, big trouble with that Button running. The double packs did push forwards. The KV-1's still alive. Attack ground, hopeful shots there from DevM. KV-1 backs out, so good trade there from Kimbo overall. 2 for 1 on the tanks. Didn't lose any infantry, constantly threatening the packs with the rocket artillery as well. Looking good, plenty of manpower in the bank as well. Maybe going to go for another KV-1. One thing, you know, once those anti-tank guns do hit high levels of veterancy, it's when they become a lot more scary. With that rate of fire bonus of Vet 2, that's when the anti-tank guns really start to kick in. So, you know, if DevM can keep the veterancy on his anti-tank guns, he's in a good position. But if they keep getting decrewed by the Katusha, then that's a much tougher story. Haven't really talked about the VPs so far this game, but it's almost looking like a 3 VP situation. Quite a lot of the game so far. Quite a lot of the game so far, there's been like, you know, a stalemate in terms of victory points, so it hasn't drained down very quickly at all so far. Oh boy, a late reaction there from DevM. Yeah, he's going after the Katusha now, but he missed the opportunity. Oh no. Must have been controlling something else at the time. And missed opportunity for the Katusha kill there. Lucky break for Kimbo. And now Kimbo jumping on top of the VPs. His VP control is quite poor at the moment, but with the double KV-1s hitting, control 2 sides of the map now at once, and no healing at all on those double anti-tank guns, they will go down to almost nothing. One even moderate Katyusha barrage, and that'll be that. But yeah, we have seen quite a lot of spear hit this commander as well, as I'll see, and that is a good option against guards, so you can break free of that button with the smoke. I'm sure DevM would have really liked to do that. Kimbo calling in the planes, pressuring DevM off the map here. And the double AT guns at this low health also could potentially go down. Kimbo kind of forcing his way in from the side here. Kind of lucky that he didn't spot the AT guns. DevM actually crawling out of the targeting zone here.
We are down to 200 points.
Kimbo probing, looking for something.
The enemy has broken our supply lines.
Hands of 4 could have a tough retreat path here. Kimbo coming back in. Good connections from the double packs.
Our base is under attack.
Comes the Katyusha barrage now. Decron one pack.
We have lost a pack gun. The enemy has driven a wedge in our lines.
Oh, and the decrew on the second one. Both packs decrewed now. Anti-tank planes called in once again by DevM to save the day. Otherwise he would lose both his anti-tank guns here. And the game. The infantry planes still flying around though. Here we go, getting some nasty damage in. MG in some trouble here for DevM. Maybe forgot about this one. Recruit packs coming back in. Some man conscripts looking for the decrew, and they get it on the MG42. This MG42 hits the dirt right here. Other squad of conscripts Ura in. Gonna go for the machine gun steal. So Kimbo gonna finally get his hands on a machine gun here. Goes for the merge into them as well just before he got suppressed. Able to get away with that safely. But yeah, it's Kimbo in the driver's seat here. Doing some really nice moves there.
We are losing a sector.
Double anti-tank guns pushing forwards.
We are in a dangerous situation. 100 points remaining.
And the points are draining against DevM very, very quickly now with the 5 VP map. Here comes the Katyusha barrage. It's just locked and loaded, close range, really facing this direction, ready to target the packs as soon as they showed themselves. DevM trying to avoid retreating through the rockets, but has to retreat. One Grenadier goes down. Now the KV-1's probing, asking some questions. DevM going for a flak panzer here. Very curious decision.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Lining up. This barrage trying to clear out the pack. Double KV-1s here though, so they can easily take care of this flak panzer. Wonder if that was a misclick from DevM. There it goes, flak panzer down. Desperately trying to decrew this Zis, but it refuses to die. And it gets the last laugh. Kimbo takes the win. So yeah, interesting game this one. You know, Kimbo losing that conscript in the early phases, and then DevM losing the Flamer half-track, really thwarting his strategy. I feel like DevM didn't adapt that well to the lost Flamer half-track, continuing with his maybe like standard build order of mass G43s, when he didn't really have that like oomph in the early phases because of that lost light vehicle, and because Kimbo I think was just generally just slightly outplaying him in a lot of the infantry engagements. So it didn't really have that like G43 push through the early phase of the game. And then, yeah, Kimbo with strong fuel control. He was hurting for manpower for quite a long time there, but very strong fuel control. Decided to go straight for tier 4, which, you know, really helped him. going for the 7-man upgrade on the conscripts, helped him fight back against those G43 grenadiers much earlier. And yeah, pushing his way into medium tanks that much quicker. I think that was a good adaptation from Kimbo. So GG, Kimbo goes up 1-0 in the series. Yeah, and just excellent Katyusha barrages throughout the whole match. Very, very strong in that department from Kimbo. That was the ace up his sleeve. But GG, we'll go on to game 2. So here we are for game 2 of this awesome series. Who's going to come 5th/6th and who's going to continue on in the tournament? DevM has to win, otherwise he's going to be the one going 5th. Can't afford to lose another match here against Kimbo. Sticking with the Eastern Front factions, both of them. DevM as Soviets going for Lend-Lease. Kimbo as Austria going for Blitzkrieg. Both of them locking into their commanders immediately as well. Kind of interesting to note. But yeah, a difference here in the capping orders from Kimbo. You can see Kimbo sending out one grenadier quite early on to try and harass DevM's fuel, which is interesting. You can see DevM trying to stay on the edge of the capture circle, wants to continue capping while fighting this grenadier. We do have another conscript coming across, and DevM actually going to go for a 4 conscript start. So no second early combat engineer. Interesting. Do have access to conscript repairs with this commander, so repairs are a little bit easier to come by. You can see DevM wants to keep that combat engineer on the front lines, use it to cap up the back sectors after he's won this fight. Doesn't want to retreat there. Speaking of retreats though, MG42 gets forced away by the conscripts. Didn't even have to use URA there, so some good positioning work from DevM. Another grenadier coming across here from Kimbo, trying to win this fight. Pulled all the way back here though. I thought he might have stuck out the position in the light cover. Works his way across the heavy cover, but I think Kimbo can just stand right on the edge there. Still continue the decap from there, which is where the light cover position would maybe be slightly better. But maybe he felt like he would end up losing the fight from light cover anyway, so wants to wait for reinforcements to arrive. Did actually end up retreating the combat engineers though. I thought they would stick around, maybe back cap the munitions point or something. So going to be some slow early munis here from DevM, but you know, has connected the fuel on this side of the map, so going to be some pretty good fuel control early. But also a surprisingly early tier 2. Getting that before medics, which is quite rare. And did still go for the flamethrower on that combat engineer, so not going to have sweepers. Might cause his light vehicles some issues later down the line. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, strange to see such an early tier 2 because, you know, with this commander you do have the Dishka, which is maybe what you would be considering building from tier 2 at this stage. The machine gun and the Maxim. Kimbo going for the 4th grenadier here. Has already completed battle phase 1 though, so kind of going for like a late 4th grenadier. Does have a little bit more firepower, DevM, having gone for a 4th conscript instead of a 2nd combat engineer at this phase, so maybe Kimbo feels the need to bolster his ranks a bit. And the Molotovs are flying here for DevM, packing up the machine gun, pressuring from a few different angles. Conscripts continuing to flank around. The squad coming out with a flamethrower. Just in the edge of the arc here, the machine gun though. Looks like Kimbo's going to retreat, however. The squad out on the road, taking quite a lot of damage. This squad also very, very low in health. No mid bunker back here, as you would expect with the 4th grenadier. And that's a lot of reinforcement for Kimbo as well, so his light vehicle is going to come in a tiny bit late. So DevM looking really strong with the conscript play. Not afraid to let the Molotovs loose. Going for that early Molotov tech, which you don't often see. Usually you kind of get it reactively against the light vehicle once that arrives, but DevM making use of it in the early game. Interesting.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
Question is, do we see the Dishka now, or maybe is this? Alright, Bugsplat getting back into it. I was talking about the Dishka, whether DevM will go for double Dishkas, and that's his answer to the light vehicle, or whether he will still go for an anti-tank gun. Be interesting to see.
Enemy forces are capturing our supplies.
Conscript's in a little bit of an awkward position. Nice reposition there from DevM. Conscript's getting very, very low here for DevM. You know, having gone for this build, as I said, very late on his medics. So he's going to start to bleed a lot of manpower. He's gone for the medics now, though.
Soviet HQ now includes a field hospital, but only for those who
Ordinarily, pre-medics with the AoE healing, I would say, you know, maybe you'd want to keep these units on the field. Otherwise, you'd end up with a bit of a queue. The medics, but now with the AoE healing, the Eastern Front medics could maybe afford to retreat most of these squads, try and conserve some manpower. Would concede a lot of territory control though. But yeah, he's going to bleed a lot of manpower fighting like this.
Enemy forces are attempting to capture our territory.
G42 doing some nasty damage from this side. Does he end up winning the fight? Going to push on to the cutoff. Got a couple squads down here from Kimbo. Oh, try and go for some S-mines on retreat. That's kind of nasty. Slightly off target though. Perhaps the retreat pathing altered a little bit by that sandbag position. So it doesn't quite work out from there, but it was a good idea. Flamethrower going to work here. 222 about to pop out. So yeah, going for the 222 instead of the flame half-track. Oh, DevM going for the assault guards. So that's his strategy. 3 command points here. Interesting. With the quad, don't need tier 3 down. So this hitting at the field at the same time as 222, that's actually very strong. He's a little bit of munitions short.
We have an isolated sector.
And yeah, okay, Kimbo's going to take full advantage of that. Come in here and try to do as much damage before that quad upgrade pops. So this is an interesting tactic from DevM. Made possible because, you know, Kimbo's 222 coming in a tiny bit late. And the command point's very, very quick this game. High action gameplay. Usually 3 command points, yeah, don't come this early, so interesting. We do typically see the T70 instead of the quad in these games because it's much easier to keep the T70 alive. You know, it can survive 2 anti-tank gun shots, which does happen quite often, whereas the quad cannot. So the quad, even though it is very strong, much harder to keep alive than the T70. Does still have an advantage in the matchup against the 222, but not by quite such a large margin. Okay, DevM chasing in, looking for the kill here. Quad stands its ground. Pack coming in. 222 coming back in, but Pack misses his first shot. Gives the quad some time to back out there. Just want to attack ground. Pops the speed boost. Always want to pop the speed boost. It's another area where the quad is a little bit lackluster. Its max speed is quite poor compared to other light vehicles.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
So 222 can chase you down if you're in a sticky situation. Can't get away. Even with the speed boost, still get chased down. DevM really wants that Grenadier to run into that mine, but it's just not going to happen. And we see LMGs from Kimbo. No G43s in this commander. Well, some pretty poor territory control right now, though. Even coming in with the not fully repaired quad. It's, you know, enough to shrug off one hit from the anti-tank gun, though, just in case that happens. So safe enough to operate here. Allows them to win this engagement against the LMG Grenadier quite handily. Second combat engineer coming in now from DevM. But yeah, this is a cunning strategy. Able to get out of the light vehicle to answer Kimbo's strategy at this early phase without having to invest into tier 3. Kind of the no-tech call-ins of old style. And DevM using that to get a bit of a leg up at this particular phase of the match. going to work here.
Territory is out of contact.
Second machine gun going to be the answer for Kimbo. I think that's a good idea. Pretty effective against the assault guards. Don't have any smoke or anything like some other squads that serve a similar role. Coming in. Molotov's out. Kimbo scrappy, trying to hold on to his little square of the map here. DevM applying the pressure, turning up the heat. EP's drained against Kimbo. Oh boy! Rear arm exposed and the pack connects. There was ambitious pack positioning there. Tries to speed away but unsuccessful with his rear arm exposed especially. Ouch, that is really bad news from DevM. And enterprising pack positioning there from Kimbo. Ends up getting the kill, and that's what I was talking about. Much harder to keep the quad alive compared to the T-70. T-70 with that stronger armor, more health, will still be able to survive in that kind of scenario. But yeah, very important to show your front with the quad as well. Its rear armor is quite weak against the machine guns from the 222. Ouch. Okay, so now Kimbo in a really nice position after knocking that out. Do have tier 3 down from DevM. He's got a lot of fuel. He has actually used a fuel drop. Don't know if he picked it up or not. I don't know if the 222 shot it down, but he's found his way to tier 4 very, very quickly here. So let's see what he can do. Still hurting a bit for manpower.
Enemy is taking our territory.
But yeah, going to be able to push out a medium tank quite quickly, whereas Kimbo's really been struggling for territory control. Hasn't even done battle phase 2 yet.
Tanks can now be deployed.
Oh, assault guards, Kimbo not paying attention, and he loses a grand here. Just a straight up mistake there. Not paying attention. Ouch. Okay, so right as I thought Kimbo cleared out the cobwebs. Suffers a loss like that. MG having to reload allows the Molotov squad to crawl into range and get it off. Unfortunate there for Kimbo with the reload timing. And then the assault guards force the MG to retreat.
We are losing supplies to the enemy.
Flamethrower, DevM. Okay, there they go. So guys do spit out so much damage that they, actually do okay damage against the 222, but it does cost you a lot of manpower. And DevM going straight into the 76mm Sherman. That's an interesting option here. 76mm Sherman is very strong against tanks, but given how little territory control Kimbo's had so far, I think the T-34 would actually be the better option here. More bleed, much more bleed. So I think this might be a slight build order mistake from DevM, given the way that the game's gone so far. Like, if Kimbo was closer to his own medium tank, I think this would make a lot of sense. But yeah, he's still well over 100 fuel away from that. It's like, 3 minutes plus of time. And during that time, the T-34 could do significantly more damage against the infantry. But it's not a huge deal, but these things do matter. But we did see something kind of similar to that earlier on. I think like maybe in PFC game, PFC versus Asher Blower. That was with the USF 76mm Sherman, but basically the same thing. There we go. Connects with the pack. Sherman on the run. DevM did get forced all the way back here. These double machine guns really causing him some headaches. Ordinarily with this commander you'd maybe have the Dishka, and then the Dishka can kind of win those like head-to-head fights against the MG42s. Gives you a much easier time control on the map. But we never saw DevM get one of those this game with his build order. I do quite like his build order, but never ended up with that. Oh, could use the conscripts here to repair. I would quite like to see DevM like sweeping with the minesweepers here, making sure that he doesn't run over a telemine with that Sherman. Pies will repair a tiny bit. Oh, combat engineers will repair a tiny bit faster with the minesweeper upgrade. A full 6 model conscript squad repairs just like ever so slightly worse than a unvetted combat engineer with no sweeper. So it's still a reasonable rate of repair, but not super impressive. Bit of a flank coming in here from DevM. Pack on this side. Do have a Grenadier here as well to threaten the Faust. Rebuilt Grenadier, by the way, by Kimbo. Smoking out. There's a machine gun. Continuing the pressure here. Just ever so slightly out of pack range, but Kimbo goes to the attack ground. MG accidentally sets up facing the wrong direction here. Now Kimbo on the run.
Enemy forces are securing our territory.
Capping up now on the fuel is DevM. BP pressure though from Kimbo. Going for the capture over here.
We are losing a sector.
222 coming back in. Still no anti-tank gun for DevM. There's quite a lot of resources right around the timing for another vehicle of some description. Is it going to be... Oh, wow, you don't see this activated too often. Tactical movement. Kimbo sprinting forwards, and that allows him to get the Faust off. That's really going to slow down the Sherman here. Going for another 76mm Sherman, so not going to try divert, go for a Katyusha. Going to try continue with the tank pressure here. So guards, they're getting chopped to pieces by the triple MG Grenadiers though. Ouch. A lot of bleed there for DevM. Still very, very poor KD. I know he's playing conscripts. Seems like it's slightly worse than normal in that department. Kimbo chasing and really hoping to get that wipe. Doesn't quite manage to. You see that DevM actually still doesn't have upgrades on quite a few of his conscripts. So they're really starting to fall off here. Did, you know, spend some of his munitions on that fuel drop. So he does forego a couple 7-man upgrades because of that. Panzer IV about to pop out for Kimbo. But yeah, up against double machine guns, double packs, we've seen a lot of players go for a Katyusha, just play with a 1 tank in the meantime. But DevM, you know, he's an aggressive lad. He likes his medium tank plays. And there we go, gets the reward. Nicely done there. Picks off one of the Grenadiers. That's going to connect. Can Kimbo get something going here with the double anti-tank guns? Got a conscript acting as a bit of a blocker. 222 trying to force them away. He's going to go in for the snare on that. Fakes the snare. Doesn't actually have munitions for the snare after that Ura. DevM desperately low on munitions. Watches the rifle grenade there by jumping into cover. Here comes the Panzer IV. Rear armor exposed here from DevM. Maybe a slight mistake could open the door for the Panzer IV here. Double anti-tank guns coming through. Kimbo connects rear armor. 76mm having to spin around here. Bounces his first shot. Here come the double packs now. This looks disastrous for DevM. 1 Sherman goes down. Gets just out of range with the second one, but that took so much damage. It's also going to be out of action for repairs for a very long time now. So once again, some good pack positioning from Kimbo. Gets his reward, picks off the Sherman. Maybe an ever so slight mistake from DevM as well. Instead of reversing through here, like driving head on, that really opened the door for the Panzer IV to do a lot more damage. You know, if he, potentially bounced 1 or 2 shots there, maybe we could have seen DevM get away there. If he popped some smoke from the Sherman, how much does it cost? 30 munitions on the packs. Maybe he could have got away there, but Yeah, good play there from Kimbo. Finds the opportunity on that damaged engine tank and gets the job done. Now he's perhaps in the lead all of a sudden. DevM still with no anti-tank gun, which is kind of hurting him at this phase. And Kimbo sitting pretty on the VPs, actually with the VP lead. In his last 3 or so minutes, he's done really, really well with the VP control. Okay, smoking out. Making his assault. The anti-tank guns aren't over here. There's more off to the center. And combined with assault, DevM able to get some really easy territory. Go for the ZIS now. 76mm Sherman does still have a very good matchup against the Panzer IV. It's high rate of fire, decent penetration, so... But he can't just leave his squads over here with no protection. Maybe he's expecting the packs to be positioning themselves over here, so switching sides to try and stay away from the anti-tank guns, but without the anti-tank gun to force away Kimbo's vehicles, DevM suffering a lot of bleed with this maneuver. And now Kimbo getting aggressive, wanting to chase him for the wipe on these. This is there though, holding strong. No tech structure very far forwards here to reinforce off though. So this is a little bit vulnerable to go down here overall. 76mm coming back across, clearing the way. You've got the command tank from Kimbo. Unexpected unit here. Very unexpected. DevM getting some good territory control coming through here. Advantage is that you don't have to build this, of course. You can call in straight away. Ooh! Nasty shot from the Panzer IV on the conscripts. And Grenadiers able to skate home to safety. Very close call. AT gun very, very low here. Command tank Panzer IV coming back in. Looking for the D crew here. Without this anti-tank gun, DevM's in some deep trouble. Oh, does get D crew, but able to recrew it from this position. And Kimbo just going balls to the wall here. Looking for the kill here. And there we go, double packs. He ends up having to lose his combat engineers to go for the recrew. Merges in, keeps it safe, but that was a very, very close call for DevM. And maybe like a slight side effect of not building any tech structures towards his base entrances, not being able to reinforce off them. Causing some issues with his ZIS survivability here. But it does end up holding on. Cost him a lot of manpower though. Oof. KD now 2-1. Even with Soviets, that is horrendously bad. And still, look at this. No 7-man upgrade on any of his conscripts, so he doesn't even have that reduced reinforcement cost online. DevM really hurting in the munitions department. Who was, you know, he did use a lot of Molotovs. He did use the fuel drop. So he's been spending them in other areas. Not like his munitions point control has been horrendous. Barely been cut off at all. Prioritizing other things though. And now starting to hurt him in the late game. Though he plays kind of similar with his US forces. Perhaps favouring grenade spam over weapon racks. It's understandable, but it can hurt you down stretch against the weapon upgrades squads from the opponent. Does manage to relieve the pressure a bit for the moment. Out for repairs here. There's enough fuel for another tank. Just needs a little bit more manpower. Looks like he's going to forego reinforcements as well. To try and push out that tank as quickly as possible. With 2 tanks is very threatening against what Kimbo has. Kimbo, by going for the command tank instead of just another regular Panzer IV, Does leave himself a little bit under strength in the anti-tank department. Does have the command tank aura though, which is really, really tasty. It'll mean that Panzer IV can maybe survive one more shot before going down up against the 76mm Shermans or the ZIS. I feel like one of the real assets of the command tank is if you're facing off against the Katyusha. That way your squads are less likely, or your team weapons especially, less likely to drop models. Perhaps not such an issue with your Grenadiers now once they're fully vetted. If they've received damage bonus, they do not bleed quite so bad against the Katyusha. But yeah, certainly helpful for keeping your support weapons alive. Series 6 Sherman hitting Vet 2 here. Quite formidable now. We'll try and stay in range for the Faust, hoping to get some engine damage onto this. Pack coming in from the side. Will it cost him his Grenadier? And it does. And come the anti-tank planes though.
Our opponents are seizing the sector.
How much damage will they do? Good chunk of damage so far. One shot from death now. Will Kimbo try and go for that? As Panzer IV on half health. It does make it a bit risky. We've got a second Sherman over here. This Sherman revealing itself in the fog a bit with the machine gun shooting at the planes, trying to knock those out. Oh, the pack comes down this little corridor and gets the kill. Grenadiers providing sight for its 76mm Sherman. Try and get the decoy on that pack. Got a couple good hits on it. Pack spinning around, going to go for some attack ground action. Missing. This gets decrewed by the command tank, however. 76mm looking for some revenge. Gonna go for the command tank. Oh, gets the decoy on one of the packs. Infantry, though, for DevM. Going to work here. Molotov. Gonna force away the machine gun. 76mm looking for an angle on the tanks, but in comes the Panzer IV. Mopping up that last conscript. Down it goes. And DevM losing a lot there. Only 2 conscripts now. 1 combat engineer knows this. Lost his tank. It's looking hopeless. Once again though, really good play from Kimbo. You could see that he was stalling out with that Grenadier, hoping to get the Faust off, and once he gets the engine damage on his opponent's tank, he's lethal. Have to really watch out for that. Kimbo doesn't just throw out those Fausts willy-nilly. He's got a purpose once he gets engine damage on your tank. You can see GG, but he's not left the game. He's not doing anything right. He just forgot to leave. There it goes. So, Kimbo takes the series 2-0. Interesting. It was a very interesting build order from DevM. You know, gone for a late tier 3 using the quad as an option. Did maybe cost him here though, you know, with the rear armor exposed. T-Series would survive a situation like that, whereas the quad definitely did not. But it did give DevM some strong control for a while there. But yeah, really hurting for munitions in the late game. Never getting 7-man upgrades on his conscripts throughout the entire match. I feel like that hurt him a lot down the stretch. And Kimbo with some really excellent pack positioning throughout this game. Finding the windows, sniping off DevM's 76mm Shermans. Very, very impressive. Well, anyway, guys, I'll wrap on that. If you like your game to be cast by me, details in the video description below. Otherwise, I'll catch you off the next thrilling installment. Goodbye and good luck.